Hey guys again. 5 months, almost half of a year dedicated towards, well, not really dedicated towards YouTube, but at least put towards my business. Probably 6 months, or even, probably, I guess, like 8 months if you count me just working in business in general. But yeah, at least 5 months on YouTube, and kind of working towards my business. So, how's this last fifth month gone? Well, I've been as I've been building out this course and I've been recording the videos for it, I've noticed more and more things that are wrong with it. And I'm presented more and more with all these things that are wrong and should be better and that need to be improved on, and where I haven't articulated myself best or where I haven't performed best in how I've recorded the videos. And I think I've let that kind of eat away at the back of my head. I think I've also, because I've just been so focused on trying to get at least this first version of a product out there and finished so that I can then start selling it to people. Because I've been so focused on doing that, I've disregarded a lot of other things in my life. And that has made me somewhat bored with trying to do things outside of work. And I think that has been another thing that's kind of compounded on, where I'm thinking, okay, so on the one hand, I'm kind of getting bored of my own life. Two, I'm making something that right now is good, like I'm actually proud of what I've done, but it still has so many more things that need to be improved about it. And then three, I'm trying to make this whole product and this whole course and all of my teachings are all meant to be about how to find meaning and purpose in your life and how to presumably live a good, pretty happy life, because we want to have a good, happy life. Sorry, where were we? I just had to quickly pause and do something else. So I don't really know where we were, but basically, I'm kind of setting up a thing, and the whole point of my information is to teach people how to have a great life. And if I am kind of bored with my own life outside of trying to get the work done, if the work is kind of tedious and it's a little bit hard, and if there's kind of multiple pressures going on or whatever, and I'm also thinking about how what I'm doing isn't maybe good enough, I've kind of had this thought of well, am I even I need to practice what I'm preaching, right? I need to actually have something that will actually get them the result that I promised them. And if I'm not doing that for myself, then how can I even teach that? But I have thought about this, and I don't think the point in life is to, the highest virtue of life isn't to be happy. Happiness is a section of a fulfilling life, but it isn't the whole thing. And in order to have a fulfilled life, I think an element of a fulfilling life is having something that you suffer for, that you find a lot of value in suffering for. So for some people, that is going to working as an engineer and solving very complex engineering problems. For mathematicians, that's solving mathematical whatevers. For people who are more humanitarian, that is going to Africa or something and helping people get water. We all fundamentally need to find something that is hard work, but that we want to do the hard work for, and then we work at that. And that is what kind of creates, when you see the product, the fruits of your labor, and it's labor because it's hard work, whether that's mental or physical or anything. When you see the products of your hard work go to a good thing, that's what is then fulfilling and makes you feel like you've done something that's worth doing in the world. And that brings its own form of satisfaction or happiness. And I think that kind of that's a kind of satisfaction that you can kind of keep on gaining, because you can keep on working hard to improve things for everyone in the world, and you can thus like get that satisfaction. Whereas if you are like, if you're just trying to have a pleasurable life where you are just like drinking, maybe like, doing all the kind of things that some people see as vices, or even just like, eating chocolate every day, eventually your kind of your stimulus to that, you're going to become more and more kind of immune to it, and then eventually you'll need more and more and more of it in order to feel some form of satisfaction. And we all know where that goes. We all live and experience this basically every single day these days. So I'm not necessarily having the happiest life in the world. I'm having a happier life than a lot of people, but I am having a lot more purposeful life, because at the end of the day, the thing I am working towards is something I care about, and I want to see people benefit from the products I'm making. So it is ultimately meaningful, and it ultimately is something that will create a better situation for me personally as well, because, well, I will make some money from it, and so I will be able to be financially well off from it as well. So that will improve my kind of quality of life in general. But the more kind of important thing with all of that is that I am doing something that seems purposeful to me in whatever way that manifests for me. And for me, that is teaching people. And I am, I'm that's purposeful for me. And so even if my kind of struggling, and even if my kind of situation right now is that it's hard work and I'm not exactly the happiest I've ever been or anything, I'm not exactly the most depressed. I'm definitely not the most depressed. And that's because I'm actually able to suffer for something I care about. But I am still kind of suffering. And so even if right now isn't this kind of like happy utopia that I can like promise people, firstly, if you want to have a meaningful life, you've got to suffer for something in some form. You've still got to have enjoyment, you've still got to have relaxation, but suffering is a form of it's another part of a fulfilling life. And so people will have to go through that if they take on my advice anyway. So I'm not incongruent with the advice I'm giving. And secondly, this is only necessarily like a harder thing to go through now, and it's not even that hard really compared to so many other things that people are going through in the world. This is nothing near any of that. But still, I'm in some form of dissatisfaction, and that is something that will maybe always be there, but it will maybe be, I don't know, maybe it will be less in the future. Or maybe I'm kidding myself right now. Maybe it will just be just as kind of dissatisfying or as hard as this or something. I don't know, we'll have to see. But essentially, at the very least, I am still going according to my own kind of teachings or my own promises for people. And I'm like, once I wrote those things down and I realized that, and I saw what my beliefs were, it made me realize that actually I was like, I am not going against my word. I am kind of keeping to my word. I am still making some kind of product. And even if right now, even if it isn't the most amazing thing in the world, it will be, because I'll make this first version, and then I'll take on criticism from people, and then I'll then just make a better version. And then I'll take on the criticism of people from that, and I'll just make a better version from that. And I'll do this however many times it takes, until one day someone will join my kind of community or something, and they will see what I have and the teachings I have, and they've been so finely tuned to just be like astounding and amazing and really like blow people away. So yeah, this is basically all the TLDR of all of this, is to say that like right now I'm kind of going through some form of hardship. I worried that this was incongruent with the teachings I was giving, and then I realized it wasn't, because hardship is part of growth, and it's part of becoming more and doing more of your life and actually getting what you want from life and having a fulfilling life. and I also know that the position I'm in now isn't one that's going to last forever. It's maybe going to last for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then there'll always probably be a form of dissatisfaction in the world for me, just like with anyone, but it maybe will be less. I don't know. I guess we'll see. But the underlying point of all of that is to say that I'm still having a fulfilling life, and I feel. Do I feel fulfilled? I think I feel. I think with the things I'm making, and especially with this most recent video I've made right now, I am really excited. I'm really happy with this. I think it's probably one of the best videos I'm making right now. And I really want to get that out. Now, do I maybe necessarily feel fulfilled in total? Maybe not. Because especially like as what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to put all my energy and all my focus into the business and getting that stuff moving. I am kind of neglecting a lot of other things in life. I'm suppressing feelings and excitements for other things outside of my work so that I can then just work. What that means is that if I'm tired and if I'm exhausted and I don't really have necessarily the brain power to work on my business, it means that everything outside of my life, like outside of work, doesn't seem really fulfilling. And so that's where, honestly, maybe right now I'm not necessarily in a stage where I'm fulfilled. I think that this is all part of a larger thing. I think that once I'm able to kind of get the business into a position where I have more time on my hands and it's more stable and it isn't just the startup phase, then I think I'll be able to invest more time into the other areas of life that make life fulfilling, that aren't just centered around purpose, but also being able to kind of enjoy relaxation, being able to enjoy in like kind of activities you find enjoyment, being able to connect better with the people around me, being able to kind of give more to people, not just in a business sense, but in other areas of life, having a bit more kind of time affluency to go and do these things. I think once I get to that stage, and then life will become more fulfilling. Life is purposeful right now, but it isn't maybe necessarily fully fulfilling. And maybe that's just something that we each approximate over time as well. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it's been. And I think that perhaps this is somewhat of a journey that a lot of entrepreneurs or people who are trying to make something big kind of go through. There is just that, I think that there is this moment where you have to suppress other desires and feelings of wanting to do stuff to do the work. But what that means is when you're not doing the work, you don't feel like there's anything that's worth doing because you've had to like put yourself in that mindset. But I think, yeah, ultimately it's like when I wrote down all of these thoughts and those feelings, I could address them really easily. And I could say, oh, well, I mean, obviously that's this thing, that's that thing. Yeah, I actually I'm still congruent with what I'm trying to produce and what I'm trying to get for other people. It's just, I am still incongruent. It's just that right now things are just a bit tough, but that's part of the whole journey that all this is. So yeah, this is just it's a moment where things are hard, and that's okay because it's just part of the larger story. And you can't really have like a great story without any hardship. And you can't really be proud of yourself if you haven't gone through hardship. Because I guess pride and like feeling good about yourself is knowing you've done hard things and got through them. So, yeah. that's just my perspective on all of this. If you want to come and actually join all this, I'll keep my community free for now. So if you click the link in the description, you'll either be able to join for free if you're watching this sooner rather than later. And if you click on it and there's you have to pay to be part of the community, then you just have to pay. But yeah, if you want to come and see all the stuff I'm actually working on, if you want to hear more of these kind of insights or reflections that are a bit more less about kind of business specific, but are kind of just more focused around just general kind of life achievement, then join the community. And I'll reach out and we can have a chit chat, and I'll see how I can help you in any way. So yeah, I'll see you guys next month, where I might be very close to finishing the first course that I'm trying to build for people. And I'm very excited. I'm like, I genuinely like the course that I'm doing, and the this specifically, like this episode I'm doing. I think it's one of the most powerful aspects of finding a fulfilling life. And yeah, I've been really excited to just produce it, really. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you guys in a month's time. See you then.